Just like that.
Hey everybody, it's Old School Heart back with another video for you guys. So this is the finale. This is the end of the New Edition movie that was playing on BET. This is episode 3 review. If you have not gotten a chance to already, please go back and look at episode 2's review as well as episode 1, 2, and 3. And please like, please comment, please subscribe to the channel. I have some new exciting things coming up this year, and so please subscribe to the channel. Also, there will be a review on Scandal. Of course, I had to miss it in order to finish watching the New Edition movie, but Scandal's review will be done either Friday night or Saturday morning, so please be on the lookout for that. So we are here to do the final review for episode 3 of the New Edition movie. And can I just say that this was the worst of the episodes, in my opinion. I really did not like episode 3. I felt like it was really choppy, that it was a bunch of clips kind of put together. I am aware that clearly they have long history and they have a long story, but I felt like it was missing a lot. There was just pieces missing, and the years kind of went by very quickly, and I just really didn't like it. And I'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end. So let's just do a little bit of a recap. So the beginning of this, basically the last episode ended with the MCA executive producer, Dwayne Martin's character, came in and told him that they were going on tour and that Bobby was going to be joining them because he was on the same label. So that's where it picks up at, where New Edition and Bobby Brown are on tour, and then you also have Al B. Sure. So Bobby Brown is talking about how that they should switch different parts of the concert so that he's able to, after he's done, New Edition is able to come on stage and he's able to do the songs with them. And they just let him know they already have a routine. They already have Johnny Gill, and Johnny Gill is going to be doing Bobby Brown's old songs from New Edition. And Bobby Brown, really felt some kind of way about that. And, to really be honest, I kind of would too. If I'm actually there, if Bobby's there, then I don't understand why they couldn't allow him to do his songs and kind of make it a united thing. Because at the end of the day, Johnny Gill has some bangers on that that album that they came out with. And so it wasn't, I don't think it would have took away from Johnny Gill's shine at all. I think that it would have been even more exciting for the audience if they would have did that. But I completely understand why they didn't. So Bobby, of course, has an attitude and, just has a problem with it. Um, he performs long way more than he should. He's pretty much just Bobby Brown, and this is what we see throughout the whole series, is that Bobby Brown is Bobby Brown. You either accept him or you do not. And he's unapologetic for who he, I wouldn't say unapologetic, because really he did apologize in the end. But I would say the true nature of him is unapologetic. He is who he is, and I think that they had come to an understanding, even in watching this whole series. If nobody else knows Bobby Brown, those men know Bobby Brown, and they come to an understanding of who he is, and they're okay with it. Whereas we have a problem with everything Bobby Brown does. Those people just, everybody in New Edition just knows him and they're okay with him. And to me, that was it's just an amazing realization for me. And I think it just shows me, like, all the stuff that we say about Bobby, all the stuff that we've accused him of and things of that nature, he has been true to himself. And I have to give much respect to him for that, for being Bobby Brown, for not wanting to be inside a box. Do I think he could have been contained in a group? Don't think so. Do I think he messed up a lot? Yes. But at the same time, he is unapologetic. So basically, you see Bobby Brown pretty much act a fool in episode 3. He's overperforming, of course. He's not showing up to shows. He missed a whole lot of shows, which meant they missed a whole lot of money. And it kind of reminds me, and everybody even said this, it kind of reminds me of David Ruffin when they went on that reunion tour towards the end of the Temptations. And in order for the Temptations to get all their money, David Ruffin had to be there for all the shows. And clearly he missed all the shows because of his behavior. And we see the same thing with Bobby Brown. In the meantime, it kind of like jumps after that tour and everything, after the show, after the shenanigans. It kind of jumps to 6 years later, and they're all getting together to do the next album, which is the Any Heartbreak album, I believe. New Edition Heartbreak album. I think that's what it was. And so the way that they did this, and this is where the clips part comes in for me, is they go back to Video Soul, where all the guys meet up again. BBD has started. BBD has started. Ralph Transvance has done Sensitivity album. You have Johnny Gill that has done his own album, and you have Bobby Brown that has done his own album, Mary Whitney, and all of that. So they're all on Video Soul, talking about the next CD that they're going to do all together. We see 3 different videos. We see BBD's video. We see Ralph's video for Sensitivity. We see My for Johnny Gill. And I don't know for sure if I don't think they show Bobby Brown's video at all, but basically it was basically a reenactment of them on Video Soul. And you see them take different shots at each other. Like Ralph kind of gets shady when they're asked just about BBD. And, there's Mike sitting here saying, if you want to, you could join BBD, Bobby Brown, if you want. We most definitely have room. Mike's the businessman now, like I told you guys in episode 1 review. Mike is the new guy or whatever, the business guy. So you see that. So basically that's what that was like a shot of pretty much everything. One, bam, 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 like everything all together. I'm trying to see what else happened in there. So I did not know that Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis is the one who gave BBD the idea to start BBD. This is after Bobby acts a fool after their tour. And he takes that cake and he's like, well, I made New Edition, so this is my cake and this is my cake. And they're all kind of celebrating. And, at the end of the day, nobody's really paying attention to Bobby like that. And Bobby throws a little bit of shade to Johnny Gill. But, Johnny Gill kind of handles it very, very well. And I love his character. People talk about Johnny Gill a lot, his sexual orientation and all that junk. But I just think he's just a real genuine. He still seems like the little church boy that he was when he started singing with Stacey Lattisaw. So, like I said, they have these Video Soul clips, and then you have them at their photo shoot for the Any Heartbreak album. That was the album with Hit Me Off on it, and also what else is on the album? Still in Love with You, which I love that song, and I'm so sad that they didn't include that. We did see a lot more singing on this one. We saw pretty much a whole set at the beginning when they were on tour with Bobby Brown and Al B. Sure, where you saw everything that they had done for the album that they did with Johnny Gill. And that was really good. I really liked that. It showed how good the actors were as well. I'm just trying to see. So, okay, when they go out to the second tour, and this is where Bobby gets in trouble because Bobby's supposed to be there. When they go out on the second tour, this is the whole Any Heartbreak tour, and this is where Bobby doesn't show up to different events, and they're losing money. And their longtime choreographer and mentor is with them on the tour. He's supposed to be helping them, but he's saying that their egos is huge out there. Huge, huge. You see them arrive on different buses. They're paying for flights to hotels. They're not really rehearsing. It's just a complete mess, you know. And he just mentions, he was like, the guys back in the day, the little kids, that they were entertainers. That these are businessmen. These they heads then got too big, and so you know, everybody's pretty much doing their own thing. And then you also see Ricky like starting to deal with substance abuse a little bit, and drug abuse, but very quietly, very discreetly. The tour, of course, gets canceled because Bobby Brown is not showing up to different events. And then they're sued by their record label because they were supposed to fulfill the concert dates and they don't. Now, during the actual show, Bobby Brown, of course, is taking his time, singing his heart out like he always does. And he is over time. And because Bobby is over time, New Edition is not able to do as many songs. And then Johnny Gill won't be able to do that many songs. So, I mean, BBD won't be able to do that many songs. And then Johnny Gill won't be able to do that many songs. So basically, Ronnie runs up there, stops Bobby Brown's show. That starts the fight. They start a really huge fight. There's shooting going on, and their choreographer, mentor, Bobby, who I call Wood Harris or Avon Barksdale, pretty much has a heart attack, and Ronnie is through because that's Ronnie's really real uncle. So he's through. He's like, I'm done. I don't want to deal with this anymore. And basically, everybody pretty much splits up. And then that's where I said we get to where Ronnie is engaged and is about to get married, and it just comes to the realization that he needs his brothers and he wants his brothers around, but there's so much stuff that has happened. He doesn't know how he's going to get them together. Meanwhile, Rick has lost all his money. Ricky has lost all his money and has a substance abuse problem. He goes through therapy. And I did not know that because he seems really quiet. He didn't seem like the real flashy one of the group. And he's the one that could sing, but he didn't seem like he had a big head. He seemed really level headed. Him and Ronnie, out of all of them, and Johnny Gill, well, actually, they're all level headed, except I saw a lot more cockiness in Mike and Bobby. And the other guys seem to be a lot more reserved, I would say. But the cockiness would be Mike and Bobby. But it was kind of sad seeing that he had lost everything and that he was just trying to keep it together, but he couldn't, and they were going to have to pack up their house. It was just a lot going on, but he did, to go to rehab and get his life back on track. After the whole incident with Bobby, you don't see him until Ronnie's wedding, and Bobby apologizes for his behavior. And then they all kind of get together after that. And I thought that Bobby, Wood Harris' character, I thought that he died, and he did not. He was at that wedding, and that was kind of cool to see him. And that was pretty much it. And then there was like a full, pretty much, at the wedding, there was a BET exec, and he said he wanted them at the 25th anniversary. So you see the replay of what they did at that 25th BET anniversary, and the boys were magnificent. The actors on there were like on it. They were so good. Now here is a problem for me. I wish the stories would have been developed a little bit better in episode 3. I wish there wasn't so much clips and action. I wish there was more of a story. It went from them touring on the album that started with Johnny Gill to 6 years later to Ronnie's wedding in 2006. So it was just really choppy, and I really, really didn't like it. Um, I also they also like left out one big piece for me, and that was when they signed with Diddy. And I told you guys I was going to be expecting to see what happened with them signing with Diddy when they did the Hot Tonight song, which I love that song. I thought it was an okay album, and they don't mention that at all. And it just seems kind of strange to me that they never mentioned Diddy in any of this. It's just weird. I don't know if they were pressed for time, but it ended early too. It like ended at 9:53, even though it's supposed to go from 8 to 10. And you saw like little pictures of them, grainy pictures of them, and I got a huge TV. I saw grainy pictures of them, and then the credits at the small at the end, so you really couldn't see a picture of them. I wish they would have done like um Five Heartbeats did, and the Temptations and Ray, where you see them perform at the end. They have a really cold song out now. I don't know why that song wasn't added to the end, where you see the them in real life, or you see a clip of their songs. I I just did not like this episode. Like I wish that it would have. I wish they would have started this from 7 to 10. It gave us 3 hours and chopped it up better, because we see Bobby Ackerfool. We don't hear much from Ralph that much in this. And Johnny Gill had a couple of clips where they talked about him being an LSG. Mike signed Boys to Men in this, and started producing Another Bad Creation and all of that. He became a businessman. We saw a little bit more about Ricky's character than we've ever seen, but it was too choppy. But overall, this was a very, very, very good movie. I loved it. It brought me back to the 90s when music was just really good and pure, and about love and about singing, and about performance. And what you can always expect from New Edition is great performance and great showmanship. So I was happy to see that. And I just love them. And you cannot go wrong with Can You Stand the Rain? You cannot go wrong with Still in Love with You. You cannot go wrong with Mr. Telephone Man, Candy Girl. You can't go wrong with any of those songs. So at the end of the day, I love New Edition. I loved this movie. I hoped that episode 3 could have been better. But other than that, uh, you gotta love him. You really do. And you gotta love Bobby. You gotta love him for who he is. You gotta love Mike for who he is. Um, Ralph's sensitivity, his ability to be selfless. Um, Johnny Gill is just positive, just a positive human being, and he's just lovely. And Ricky wears his heart on his sleeves. It shows. And Ronnie don't play no games when it comes down to it. And he's a hard worker. And um, people sleep on him rapping. Like we always think about like in TLC. We always think about Lisa Left Eye as a rapper, but the original rapper in the group has to be Ronnie as well. So you got to give Ronnie his props for that. But I loved it. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you felt about episode 3, what was missing, or if you just liked it and I don't make any sense at all. Just leave me a comment. I love to hear from you. It's been fun doing these reviews for episode 1, 2, and 3. Please come back to this channel and check out other reviews. And please subscribe to the channel. This is Old School Heart. I'll see you next time. Have a good night.